If we were living in Mesopotamia 7,000 years ago, you would have believed that I was possessed by demons, and you would have had me attended to by priests. If you were ancient Egyptians or Babylonians, you would have exorcised my demons via restraint, beatings, and starvation. By 400 BC, Hippocrates would have used bloodletting to balance all that black bile in my system. Whereas if you were 5th century Christians, you would have thought I was infectious and you would have drowned me, burned me, or locked me away. And in an ironic twist, during the Age of Enlightenment, you would have shunned me because of my weak temperament. Over the course of the next few hundred years, you might have lobotomized me. Even better, you might have put me on a spinning stool to induce dizziness to rearrange my brain. You might have submerged me in water. As someone who lives with depression, you would think I'd be really excited to have been born in the 20th century, wouldn't you? You can question that, because while I'm really glad I don't have to deal with lobotomies and leeches, because I hate leeches, living with depression still carries its own baggage. People who with depression, we often feel weak, we feel stigmatized, we feel guilty, we feel ashamed, and it's not pretty. But fortunately, I do see a change in social judgments. All of that social judging, doesn't hurt us mentally. It doesn't hurt us physically so much, but it definitely can hurt us mentally. But there are changes coming. I'm so excited about this. We are entering what I call phase 2 of depression. Phase 2 is what I call the fashionable phase. There's been a lot of limelight put on depression in the last few years. Comedians have opened up about their experiences. After the suicide of Robin Williams, the global media delved deeply into possible connections between depression and comedians. Psychology Today articles explore the links and connections between the two. On the various TED stages, we've seen comedians Kevin Briel, Ruby Wax, and Bill Burnett also talk about their experiences. And what about celebrities? They certainly bring a level of acceptance of depression to the masses. From the pages of Cosmopolitan magazine, Depression and Celebrities, some of our favorite names reveal what suffering is really like. From the pages of Glamour magazine, Michelle Williams reveals she was suicidal while in Destiny's Child. A quick internet search reveals that Katy Perry, Gwyneth Paltrow, Michael Phelps, and some supermodel that I can never remember her name have all come out with their experiences of depression. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not an Academy Award-winning comedian. I am not an Olympic medalist, nor am I a Sports Illustrated swimsuit model. I'm a Stephanie. I am about as average as they come. I love my dog and I walk her about twice a day, and I try to clean my cat's litter about that often as if I can. I am a homeowner. I pay my taxes, I clean my pellet stove, I mow my lawn, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister by choice. I fall into snowbanks with my sister and I drink champagne and cider with my sisters. Fortunately, the one thing I see that's changing about depression is that we are starting to go into that phase 3 that I really truly want to see. That phase 3 of depression is where we start seeing depression be accepted by average people, because I want to tell you a little bit about my depression. When I'm experiencing a major episode of depression, I crawl under the covers as much as I humanly can. I ignore all forms of communication of friends who are reaching out, and I'll tell you, they're caring and concerned, but they're also terrified about what I'm going to do. I watch endless episodes of Coronation Street because figuring out if Carla and Peter are going to get back together is a lot more preferable than living inside my own punishing brain. And I ruminate, which I think people can probably identify with this in this room. But when I ruminate, I can physically feel my neurons bouncing around, connecting with negative thoughts and negative energy. And that negative energy, that self-condemnation, leads to a complete lack of motivation, a lack of energy to do just about anything. It's exhausting. But of course, you know what that means? It leads to more time to ruminate. It's a very vicious cycle that's really hard to break. The best way that I can describe my depression to you is by going back to biology. Our brains are programmed to fill gaps and take care of things in our life so that we're healthy and safe. Our brains are natural problem solvers. Well, when I'm experiencing, let's go back to you guys. When you're thirsty, what do? Brain tells you, go to the sink, grab a glass, put it under the tap, turn on the tap, take a drink, problem solved. Am I right? So when I start ruminating, and my brain likes to ask me over and over repeatedly, what's wrong with me? And my brain, just wanting to do its job because it's very excited, because it's a problem solver, remember, my brain starts listing every single thing that's wrong with me because it's just doing its job. So from my journal, which I call my PH Me, I take no credit, somebody else did think of that. This is verbatim. I'm stupid, I'm dumb, I'm ugly, the usual. People will abandon me, people will reject me, people will find other friends and leave me, never want to see me again. My highs and lows are driving people away and I don't blame them. But the most important one to me was a statement that I don't deserve people's love. So just think about that. I don't deserve people's love. It was that statement that during the middle of a depressive episode that I became terrified of going out in crowds. And if you know me, you'd know that is very unusual. I love people. I can talk to friends and strangers alike, and I can work a room better than Oprah Winfrey. But when I'm having a depressive episode, that statement took me to rock bottom. On June 20th, 2017, I considered cutting myself because the physical pain would have been preferable to the mental anguish that I continually kept heaping upon myself. But fortunately, I was smart enough, experienced enough, lucky enough, I reached out to the NWT helpline. I phoned the employee assistant line, and I reached out to my magnificent support network who got me through everything that they could. And I did yoga, I did meditation, I journaled, I saw my counselor, I saw my family doctor, and I upped my medications. So I am definitely one of the lucky ones. And that's why I'm here today, because I want to open up, I want to share, and I want to talk about my experiences. Because the odds are really high that someone in your life is experiencing depression. And you know what? That's okay, because depression is no longer a topic to be silenced. We've moved beyond melancholy and hysteria and vapors to a more scientific, modern understanding of depression. We've seen social influencers open up about their depression in the media. But depression isn't just that famous face on the cover of a magazine, and it's not just that history that we talked about earlier. Depression can be the girl next door. It can be your mail carrier. It can be your accountant. It can be your daughter. And that's why I hope, I dream, I wish, I believe that we will soon enter what I call phase 3 of depression, the common collective populace phase. This is the phase where we see that not just depression, but all mental illnesses get the support and recognition that it deserves. I would say understanding, but I live with depression and I don't understand it. Phase 3, also, we realize and recognize that depression can happen to anyone. I would like to see more education so that people stop telling me what to do and stop trying to fix me. And while we're at it, please, can we clarify the difference between being sad and being medically depressed? I want to see support for every single person, the average person, not just the high-priced therapists that people can afford. I want average people to be able to get antidepressants. I want to see them to be able to get counseling and doctors and everything else they need. And the caregivers, they deserve our support too. The people who love and deal with us, I'm not easy to live with, and I know that. And I hate listening to my friends once in a while say, oh my God, I'm so ugly, fat, or dumb. Like, just hearing that once in a while kills me. But to actually watch someone you love beat themselves up mentally and possibly physically all the time because they're in the throes of depression, that's got to be super difficult. I can't imagine. They need the support too. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, Depression will never go away. Depression will never be history. I truly believe that in this technology-addicted, fast-paced society that we're living, if anything, depression will get worse. And that's why it is so vital, so important, not just for not just for those future generations, but for current generations, that we get the resources, the support, the understanding that we need. But you know what the best part of all of this is? It just starts with a talk. Thank you.